A very good afternoon. This is Lunchtime News coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. I'm Joel Outskun. Let's first take a look at this afternoon's headline-making stories. 4 persons, including Anuradha Jayaratne, produced before court. UMP MP Palitha Thevara Peruma hands himself over to the Colombo Crimes Division. An opportunity for the public to present their suggestions and recommendations for the interim budget that will be presented by the new government. A statement from the Minister of Finance, Ravi Karunanayake. And on international headline news, US President Barack Obama announces middle-class economic strategy. Let's take a look at these stories in detail. Son of former Prime Minister D.M. Jayaratne and Central Provincial Councillor Anuradha Jayaratne has been produced before court after he surrendered to police. He was arrested on 3 charges, including carrying out an attack on an office of the New Democratic Front, firing gunshots and intimidation during the run-up for the recently concluded presidential election. According to our correspondent, 3 others who surrendered to the police were produced before court. Meanwhile, UMP MP Palitha Thevara Peruma has surrendered to the Colombo Crimes Division. He is accused of assaulting and making a local government politician in Aglawatanil. On to one of your headline-making stories. Minister of Finance Ravi Karunanayake says that the general public have been granted the opportunity to present their suggestions and recommendations for the interim budget that will be presented by the new government. When Newsfirst made inquiries from the minister, he noted that the details of the economic crisis that has befallen in the country will be tabled in Parliament in the near future. The Finance Minister further noted that the interim budget will be presented in Parliament on the 29th of this month.
The people elected the government of Maithripala Sirisena and Ranil Wickremesinghe with trust. Now the people are anxiously waiting to see if we will fulfill the promises that were made. We reassure you that it will be done. We took over the economy of the country at a very critical juncture. It won't be long before we make a statement regarding this in Parliament. While doing this, I see a certain sense of unity. This is the way we want to function as an open finance ministry. To an institute that hasn't had a subject minister or a deputy minister for the past 11 years, we would like to revitalize it, unite as one, and urge that you put forward your ideas which will most certainly be important to the country's policies. We are ready to learn certain facts which we aren't aware of. As a government of humane nature, it is essential to us that your ideas are brought forward. We admire that. We promise that on the 29th that we will implement this relief program, and we are working on it right now. So we kindly urge people to put forward their ideas before the 29th.
Cattle amounting to 108 which were to be slaughtered were released in the Ambalanthutta area. This initiative was carried out with the intervention of the Mahasangha, including Venerable Omalpe Sobidathera. Our correspondent noted that the released cattle were donated to the 108 poverty-stricken families in the Bolan area in Ambalanthutta.
Maitri යුගයක උදාවක් ඇති වෙලා තියෙනවා.
A Maitri era has dawned upon us. In this era, we must follow the policy of non-violence. We hope to end slaughter and spread good values in this country. We hope to implement a step-by-step procedure where we will encourage the public to drink fresh milk and give the necessary nourishment.
මේ වැඩපිළිවෙල ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්නේ ඒ පියවරෙන් පියවර.
A person has been hacked to death close to the CTB junction in Jayala. Police state that the victim was a 37-year-old 3-wheel driver from Jayala.
The police discovered the individual upon receiving a call to the 119 emergency hotline of a man with cut wounds close to the CTB junction in Jayala. The police noted that the individual died upon admission to the Ragam hospital. They added that the victim was murdered with a sharp weapon by an unidentified group who had arrived in a 3-wheeler and crossed his path while returning from a hire. I call him every time it's past 9:30. I called him at 9:30 but he did not answer. I thought he was on a high and he will call me back. I waited till 10 p.m. and he still did not call me. When I answered the phone, a lady answered. I asked who it was and she told me they were from the Ragama hospital. They told me the owner of this phone was found with cut wounds and that when they brought him to the hospital, he had already passed away. Investigations have revealed that a long-standing dispute had led to the murder.
The 166th Newsfirst workshop, which aims to improve the media literacy among students, is currently underway in Nikavaratia. The workshop, which is underway at the Kobaigane Sri Parakrama National School in Nikavaratia, educated the students on news reporting theoretically and practically. While the students were made aware on the use of new media, they were also given the opportunity to showcase their talents. Still in local news, police have seized a pickup truck belonging to the Ministry of Economic Development house in the Madul Sima Kokagala area in Badulla. Police say that the homeowner and the individual who brought the pickup truck to the house have been arrested. Investigations have revealed that the vehicle had been used for propaganda activities and at the recently concluded presidential election. The suspects are to be produced in court today. Still in local news, 8 students sustained injuries in a school bus accident in Lolugoda, Mavanala. The police said that the bus veered off the road and collided onto a house this morning. The injured were admitted to the Mavanala hospital. Our correspondent noted that the bus driver also sustained injuries in the accident. The residents of the Palalansena Opitiavada area in Negombo charged the disposal of garbage by the Negombo Municipal Council at a privately owned plot of land is causing severe harm to the locals in the area and the environment.
Chief Medical Officer of the Negombo Municipal Council, E.G. Somasiri, said that while 80 tons of garbage is collected from the Negombo area on a daily basis, 10 tons are disposed of at a recycling unit in Kuran area. As the remaining 70-odd tons of garbage is disposed at a privately owned plot of land in the Palasane Upitiavatte area in Negombo, the lives of the people and the environment are at risk. There's a large amount of bacteria and there are children here as well. We have to keep our food here, but there is no one to take responsibility. Everyone dumps their garbage here.
The garbage here has clogged up, not just here but everywhere. We are asking that a solution be provided.
Our correspondent said that as there is no proper location for the disposal of garbage, several environmental issues have arisen to the area's tourism industry, hospital complexes and other institutions.
For a week, with the greatest difficulty, we collected this garbage and piled them up at different locations. If this goes on for another week, the whole of Negombo will become a garbage dump. This isn't good for the tourist industry.
Newsfirst made inquiries for the Mayor of Negombo, Anton Javir, on the matter.
35 years ago, this garbage dump used to be a highly residential area. However, we managed to continue this by disposing the garbage and then covering it with rubble. There is a garbage issue around the country. Solutions must be given to this problem at the national level by implementing a national policy. Until we find an alternative solution to this, we have to dump garbage here. When disposing garbage, we have to work in a way which will not cause any harm to the people.
To keep yourself up to date on the very latest news, simply log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk. Well, that's a wrap of Lunchtime News. Thank you very much for joining us. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Joel Outscoon. Have yourself a lovely evening ahead.
Hotline 0114 896 896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.